What's up guys, it's your boy Abdul here from Ather Gaming, and I'm back to the channel guys, and today we're coming at you with a special video. And before we get into it though, I want to give a huge shout out to all our patrons, all our subscribers, everybody who comments down below, and everybody in our Discord, as well as those who've liked our Facebook. We just hit a huge milestone guys, we finally hit 4,000 subs. We want to thank everybody for, I say finally, but like it's really been so rapid like how we've gotten to it. So yeah, so I just want to get right into the video. And today's video is going to be a discussion video, and it's going to be about the ban list. Now the ban list is on the horizon, no sooner than July 1st. We're like 6 days, 7 days past that now. And I'm just going to talk about cards that I think are going to get hit, as well as cards that I believe should get hit. Now those are two different things, because I think that what the players want to see banned and what Konami will hit are very different things. So first of all, I want to talk about why I think the ban list is looming and why it's going to come very soon. And I could be wrong about it. We could look back on this and I'm just like off completely, but I believe that with Battles of Legend set to release on Thursday of this week, that's the 12th of July, I think that a lot of people are concerned still that one of the major reprints in Battles of Legend, being the Sky Striker cards, are due for a hit, or they believe that they might get hit on the ban list. So, to rest people's hearts over it, I think Konami is just not going to hit those specific striker cards or hit the deck in a way where it's unplayable to that degree. So for that, I think that we will get a ban list before Battles of Legend. I'm thinking that we get it on the Sunday, or we get it like sometime during the week, but before or around the time the set releases, so people have confidence and can buy with confidence, and that'll be a huge thing. So let's get right into it, guys. I think that first of all, this meta is very close to being perfect. I love the metagame. I think it's very healthy, and I think there's a lot of very powerful decks as well as a lot of decks in tier 2 that can take games and wins off of some of the best decks in the game. So I believe there are 4 decks currently in the metagame that are really shaping it and defining it, and those decks are Salamangreat, Danger Thunder and all its variations, Sky Striker, and Orca and all its variations. Now of these 4 decks, I think that there's something that we could hit in each and every deck, and something that should get hit in each and every deck, just to bring it in line with kind of the rest of the metagame. Now I don't think we can have too many hits, just because, guys, we have a really good format right now, right? And I don't think that we should take advantage of it. So the first deck we'll talk about is Salamangreat. It's not a deck that's been out as long as like Thunder Dragon or Sky Striker have, but it's it's getting there, and it's a deck that's taken a few tops here and there. Like it's won like 2 or 3 WCQs. I think in Euros the finalist and so the first place and second place were both playing Salad. And so because of that, I think Salad is a deck, and its strength, this is a crazy thing though about Salamangreat. Salamangreat is a deck that its major strength is its consistency and its ability to play interactive cards that are effective whether they're going first or going second. So to address concerns in Salamangreat, we saw that Lady Debug was put to 1, and I think that was also a move by Konami to push Cynet Mining more so than it was a move to really hit Salad, because like 1 Debug doesn't do anything. We're playing triple Buffalo now anyway. So this is what I think that Konami can do to Salamangreat, and that would be a hit again on the consistency aspect of the deck. I'm not here advocating for a hit on Salamangreat Gazelle. If we just look at what happened in the OCG, they put Gazelle to 1, and the deck just disappeared, and it took like 0% of like top cut representation in their last week of major events. I think that you could hit Gazelle to 1. It's fine, like it's a reasonable hit, and Salad can still exist without it, but I think it's a little too soon. I think first, like, we should address one of the problem cards in the deck, and I think that's Salamangreat Circle. Right now, Salamangreat has a lot of redundancy in the sense that it just has so many ways in accessing its key cards. And it's not that Gazelle is always the key card. Like, yeah, that is the heart and soul of your deck. That is the horse that gets you going. But Gazelle is not the only card you want to be searching. Sometimes you want Foxy, you want the Spinny, you want the Jaguar to facilitate the rank 4 plays, and so Circle helps you get all these cards. So I think that Circle could be a card that we could see get limited down to 1, so it forces you to play mining and a reliance on mining, maybe makes you put Debug back in the deck, and it'll hit the overall and hurt the overall consistency of the Salamangreat deck. Now, it won't kill it because you still have your triple Gazelle. So right now, this is the thing, right, is that we have multiple copies of Gazelle in the sense that mining is Gazelle, Circle is Gazelle, and obviously Gazelle is Gazelle. But some of those cards don't work through cards like Thunder Dragon Colossus. And before I get into Thunder, it's just something that if you open Circle, that's not Gazelle under Colossus, right? Gazelle is Gazelle under Colossus. But Circle has other applications, and you can search with Circle, and you can get 3 Circle activations over 2 turns. You can go activate Circle, it's your opponent's turn. You use a Circle again for your Sunlight Wolf and Circle again. Like, that's way too much consistency. That's 3 cards searched over the course of 2 of your turns. And I just think that it's the only card that you could realistically hit in the deck. The deck is very fragile in the sense that, like, it doesn't have too much of a power ceiling. It's just very consistent, very stable, and we should just aim to hit that consistency, hit it a little bit, but not take away too much from the power, and not take away too much from one of the stars of the deck, which is Gazelle. Like, it is a deck that just goes as far as Gazelle will take it. And so I touched on it briefly, but I'm going to talk about Danger Thunder and hits that I believe should happen to Danger Thunder and its variations. Now, I personally believe that we should have a significant hit to the deck. That's what I believe because it's been out for so long. At the same time, I don't think the deck is an unfair deck in the sense of we've had combo decks in the past such as Goki, which are just obscene, obnoxious. It's full power spirals with machine dupe and quick fix, and even the spiral when we had the limitations to quick fix as well as drones. Like, we don't have combo decks on that regard, not even the triple Adderall Pendulum deck. What we do have is we have a deck that is super resilient, can play through a lot of things, whether it's going first, going second, takes advantage of one of the best cards in our game in Sekka's Light, but it's also a very interesting deck. Like Thunder, there's no one correct way to build Thunder. And because of that, I think that it's not a deck that we should just kill off. I do believe that there are some unfair cards in the deck. And it starts and ends with the Guard Dragons. Now, I'll put it this way. Agripane is Cyberstein, but better. You don't have to pay life points for that card. You don't have to summon a fusion monster with that card. You can summon Boral Sword, you can summon Boral Load, you can summon Boral Guard if you want it. You can literally summon any dragon monster. It could be Fusion, XYZ, Synchro, Link, it does not matter. Agripane facilitates all of that. LP is great, LP lets you start, right? But like LP is only as good as what LP ladders into. And what LP ladders into currently is Heretic Seal plus Hot Red Abyss. Now because of that, I think that Agripane is a real problem card because once Agripane hits the board, you know a power card is coming out. And that's my issue with that card specifically. Another card that I would like to see hit is Chaos Dragon Levianeer. That card is absolutely insane. Like, you have to understand that people just think that Levianeer is powerful because he gets to pop cards or revive cards or rip cards. Levianeer is powerful because he gets to banish 3 cards. That means that card is good going first when you banish 3 dark monsters and you rip a card out of your opponent's hand. I thought Gumblar was dead, but we're still hand looping people with Levianeer. You get to banish 3 lights and you can revive a monster, which is super annoying when they go banish 3 lights, I'm going to summon back my Lancia, and I'm going to Lancia you again. And of course the effect where it banishes light and dark when you get to pop 2 cards on the field. Levianeer is like a Swiss Army knife, but the way a Swiss Army knife is like super utility based, like it's also like a bazooka because when it hits the board it blows everything up and it just kills you. My issue with Levianeer again is that you can play against Thunder, and it's kind of like Striker, how like you break the Striker board and they just like bring back their monster, go engage, and just go all over again. Like, you break the Thunder board or you try to play through the Thunder board and like you hand trap them, whatever, and they go like, okay, next turn, drop Levianeer, trigger Roar, trigger Levianeer, trigger Dark, and just blow up your board, search a bunch of cards, and just OTK you. That's all because of Levianeer. When you play against that deck, you have to sit there and say, you know what, I literally cannot react to any of what you're doing because if I do, Levianeer comes and blows me out of the water. So Levianeer is a card that I believe should get hit. Now, I don't want it limited, I want it banned because people, like, yeah, when they loop triple Levianeer turn 1, like, this is the thing, it's not a hard once per turn summon. Insane. But, like, I want that card banned. I don't want to see Levianeer, the card is insane, the card is obnoxious. Yeah, so I don't want to see Levianeer, the card is insane, the card is obnoxious. BLS was, like, limited ban at one point, like, say with Chaos Emperor, and Levianeer is just like more powerful than those cards, so that card can go. Another few cards that I would like to see get hit in the Danger Thunder strategy are potentially the Chaos Dragons. Now, I don't think that Dangers are. I think Dangers are insane. I think they're super cool in the way that they let you build a deck based around Sekkas and the like. But I don't think Dangers are inherently a problem on their own because not every single deck can play Dangers. Some decks which were started off as Danger decks, I have moved away from them. Like, I think there's a sacrifice that you have to make for the Dangers, right? So I don't think that the Dangers are entirely unfair. They are a little insane, but they're not unfair. And so maybe we'll address them later on. Like, we still have Megaton reprints, so I don't think it's going to happen now. But the baby Chaos Dragons are insane. Now, I had somebody put it to me that the baby Chaos Dragons are like Reborn Tengu was in plant format, or like Destiny Hero Militias was. Like, these cards just recycle themselves. They put bodies back on board. They let you banish cards to trigger your banish effects. They're dragons, which is even more relevant because they let you summon guard dragons, and like maybe they're a little more insane than Levianeer because they're level 4, so you can even go into LP and Pisty with them. And if you just open one of them, you know, plus like your land play, like you can do the full guard dragon combo, which is just ridiculous when you think about it. Not only that, like they're also just very powerful cards, and they generate so much advantage on their own that I think that it's time for them to get hit. And I could see, like, if Malicia's at 2, you know what, we can put them 1-1, you know, you get your 1 search, and that's basically it. So limits to those cards would be something that I would like to see. I would like to see limits to, you know, Levianeer, or ban Levianeer, limit the baby dragons, and then leave the rest of the deck untouched, and we'll deal with a much more, you know, fragile Danger Thunder deck that still has a little bit of that ceiling, can still do those insane guard dragon plays, has to move over and do some other stuff. Because this is the thing, if you hit the Thunder aspect of the deck, right, they just play Crusadias. That's the thing. If you hit all the guard dragons, they can just play Danger Thunder with a Chaos package, which they were, and that's fine. The issue gets to when you have those guard dragons, right? So because of that, like, I think the guard dragons need to get a hit. I think LP and Pisty are cool. LP summoning from deck, it's a little insane, don't get me wrong, but Aggro Pain is the real problem, because that's what you're building up to. You're building up to your Aggro Pain, summon out Hot Red, summon out Crystal Wing, go into your Saryuja. The other day I got Boral sorted out of Aggro Pain. It's a little salty. Moving on, I think that the rest of the Thunder package is fine. Like, nobody complains about Thunder Dragons, right? Like, you can complain about Colossus being a mistake, but guys, you have to give decks something, right? So I would like to see a hit specifically to the Danger or the Guard Dragon package. Dangers are not going to get hit because of the reprint in the tins, so it's either the Guard Dragon, which is Aggro Pain, or the Chaos monsters. One of those dragon monsters is getting destroyed. The next deck we'll talk about is Sky Striker, which I think is like, how many times have you thought about this, right? You come up with a deck and you're like, man, this deck is so cool. I have so many outs of these different boards that I can play against the meta, except my Striker matchup sucks. That's like everybody. You come up with a deck and it's so cool, and I ask you, all right, man, that's sick, but what do you do against Sky Striker? And you're like, well, not much, because the deck is insane. Like, this is the thing with Striker, right? Striker is a spell-based deck, which is a problem in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because right now we're putting out negates that are monster-based negates. And Striker just says, oh, that's a cool board. I'm just going to, you know, go engage, activate mine. Oh, you're going to negate, I'm going to Chain Widow Anchor, and the game ends. That's just obscene. That said, Striker did get hit. Kagari to 1 is a huge hit, and it really swings the Striker matchup in the favor of decks like Salamangreat. They can outgrind it. And so I don't want to touch Striker too much, just because I don't think the deck is that nuts. I think that what should get hit is Mystic Mine. Absolutely. That card is ridiculous. But again, I don't know if Konami will hit it so soon. So, you know, potentially we could see a hit to multi-roll, to 2, like, I can see like semi-limit multi-roll, semi-limit engage, and semi-limit Widow Anchor. Like, these are all things that I could see, and just, you know, give them more of the multi-roll, and you can see Striker lean more towards like a trap-based strategy. Personally, I feel like if you hit mine hard enough, that Striker is fine as it is. Like, let the deck live, guys. Alternatively, just ban Ray. Get that card out of there. That said, I do think that, you know, semi-limiting engage and semi-limiting Widow Anchor are what we can do now, moving towards what the OCG did, and the deck should be fine. In Japan right now, listen, like, they have 2 Widow Anchor, 2 engage, right? Mine is at 1, I believe, there, or at 2. Metaverse is at 1. Like, they hit so much in that deck, and Striker is still one of the most represented decks there. Now, mine, granted, they do have Max C, but, like, come on, guys. Like, let's put multi-roll to 2, let's put engage to 2, let's put anchor to 2, and let's leave Striker alone. I think that puts the deck in a tier 1.5, tier 2 spot. And the final deck we'll talk about that's in tier 1, or tier 1, is Orca. This is the deck that I play for Nationals. I did great with it. Deck's cool as hell, but it has a lot of glaring weaknesses. I know everybody wants, like, Rusty Band, and everybody wants, like, Mermaid Band, but, like, you guys gotta understand that Orcus isn't that great of a deck. The thing with Orcus, and what's super powerful about Orcus, is how, like, any 2 monsters just turns into full Orcus combo. In Japan, they hit Mermaid, and, like, we didn't see any Orcus being played. It's soon, sure. It is relatively soon, but that's still a little too much. I think we just got Orcus as well. The deck is still relatively new, and because of that, I don't foresee, like, any hit that's too severe to the deck. I think that you could go in the line of, like, potentially, you know, limiting some of the cards in the deck, like maybe a Dingirsu limit, you know, force you to play with 1 Dingirsu. However, the card did just come out, and I don't think that Konami's going to hit it. you gotta understand that Dark Neostorm is gonna be out and not reprinted for a very long time, and Daenerys is gonna be a card that we're gonna have to deal with in the metagame for a very long time. So on that end, I think that, you know, a Rusty ban is a little harsh on the deck. I think it just essentially kills the deck. So I could see a Mermaid hit as well. I think we ban Mermaid, and because of that, the Orcus deck focuses. The Orcus deck still exists because we have cards called Danger Monsters. So I believe that a Mermaid ban could be an effect, guys. Like some Orcus lists are playing double Mermaid. It's a combo starter in the way that like double Helix is a combo starter, the way that Assault is a combo starter, and it's just easier to make than both of those cards are, because I think about this card's easier to make than Assault. Any two cards turn into it. So I think a Mermaid hit is what I would like to see. So just in quick review, we can talk about like the cards that I wanted to get banned from the top 4 in the format. I want to see Orla hits too. I want to see a limit on Salamangreat Circle. I want to see a hit to Aggr Pain. I want to see a hit to the Baby Chaos Dragons. I want to see a hit to Levineer. It's a little heavy-handed, but you still got your Dangers. You still got your Thunder Dragons. That deck will be fine. The deck can still play. The deck can still breathe. Striker, let's just do what OCG did. Put 2 Engage and 2 Widow Anchor, 2 multi-roll. Let the deck play, you know, still play the game. And then finally with Orcus, let's just ban Mermaid. I do understand that like that's the most heavy ban out of all of these because it's the only ban. But I think that Orcus is only going to get stronger as we get more and more generic, like, you know, 2-card or 1-card engines to getting into the deck. And I think once we like pull back the power level on everything else, or the consistency on everything else, like Orcus will be nice and fair. Right now, like the prevailing thought between a lot of the, you know, the really good players in the game is that Orcus kind of sucks. So let's talk about some cards that I know people want to see come back that I just believe should not come back. And the first card, the most major culprit of this, for some reason, is Harpy's Feather Duster. I don't understand why people want this card back. You gotta understand, right now in our metagame, we have so much back row removal. We've got triple Red Reboot, triple Evenly Matched, triple Twin Twister, triple MST, triple Cosmic Cyclone, triple Heavy Storm Duster. Man, we even got Malevolent Catastrophe at 3. There is so much back row removal in the current game, and like back row lockdown, like Denko Sekka, all these cards, and like Phantasmic can stop targeting from certain cards. Like, guys, we need to chill. Like, Storm Duster is an insane card. There's a reason why Regeki exists and not Storm Duster in our format, because monsters have inherent protection. Spell and traps don't. You need another spell and trap to protect your one spell and trap from getting destroyed, and you just go Feathers Duster, just wipe everything. That card is a card that warps the game. It's a card that, like, if you've played Yu-Gi-Oh! Long enough, you understand that formats with Heavy Storm and formats without Heavy Storm are very different. It's like formats with Maxi and formats without Maxi. Guys, we don't need Feather Duster back. You don't want to kill all these decks. It just won't be able to exist because of Feather Duster. So that's just my opinion on that card. There are other cards that, you know, I see people talk about, like, oh, this card could come back to 3. Like, realistically, there's a lot of cards on the ban list that can come back to 3. Some cards that I would like to see come back to 3 are cards like Destiny Hero Malicious. Guys, Warriors have been hit quite significantly. I understand you still have Assault, you don't have Firewall, you don't have Summon Sork. What are you laddering into? Potentially hero plays, and that's fine. That's cool. Speaking about heroes, I think that, you know, we could see a return of Elemental Hero Stratos. The OCG had triple Stratos and triple Shadow Mist at one point, and they were like a tier 1 deck when Spirals were running around. So, like, we could see something like that. Like, you know what? Give 3 Stratos back, guys. There's more overpowered normal summons in the game now. And Stratos is a card that I think, you know, everybody, I don't think anybody has a problem with Stratos. In the same vein, you know, Construct, that card could come back as well. I think you could bring that card back to 3. Sure, bring that card back to 3. These cards are all good consistency cards. These are not like top end, blow you out, like Masterpiece. Speaking of which, that card can't come back. Another card that I would like to see return from the ban list, and this is, you know, I'm going to say this in every single video that we ever make regarding this until it happens, is Book of Moon. I want Book of Moon to come back to 3, but I do think that the card is a little insane. You guys got to understand that. Like, Book of Moon is targeted, non-destructive, put phase down. It's like Floodgate Trapple, but faster. But so I think it has time to be played in the metagame. Like anything else, like on the list, like I think we have a really good ban list right now. I think we have a really good format right now. The next few sets that are coming out should like spice things up a little bit, but not too much. And because of that, I don't think that too many changes need to happen to the ban list. There's a few cards, like I said, that I want coming back, like Stratos, Malicious. I think those are cool. Like Construct can come back. Sure, it could come back. Cards in the same line as that, guys. Like cards that don't facilitate crazy things like FDKs and you know, hand loops and like and extra links, like cards like that, they can come back just because of like a lot of the cards that abuse them or got malicious, you know, namely abused by cards like Summon Sorceress, and we don't have Summon Sorceress anymore. So I think that Mali is a card that could come back. Moreover, guys, I just want guys to know that like right now our ban list is pretty good. Our format is pretty cool. So a lot of cards that could get hit, a lot of power that could be pulled from some decks, added to some other decks. But I think we're in a good spot, and I think we are going to get a ban list soon. I don't think it's going to be that crazy of a ban list, but I do think we're getting one soon, guys. Anyways, guys, thanks for checking out the video. We got a lot of content coming out with Battles of Legends just down the road. I think we got a hero deck profile. I'm just working on that. Thala's working on some Battle Wasp crazy shenanigans. I got a musket deck profile for you guys coming up. And we'll have a Battles of Legends set review as well as another market video on like how to make money in this game, guys. Anyways, guys, this is Abdullah from Ather Gaming. Peace.